We're kicking it old school over on YouTube and Twitch, but we're here. Guys, like I said, welcome in, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. We're gonna go ahead and get started here. This is Brunch with My Creator, and we have an amazing person that's gonna be up here with us today, which is SuperSolid. So excited about it. So excited about it. So very excited about it. But guys, we're gonna make sure. But guys, really heart me. I'm gonna keep resetting the daily gift goal to these little 1 cent gift goals, and it'll help boost the live as well. Did it just glitch? I think we're good. Anyway, also knock out the daily gift goal. It's a pink heart puff. Let's go ahead and get started.
Brunch with my creator, yeah. We're just having some fun. Relax, sharing the moments when the cameras are done. The real you, real love, no filter, no show. See at a table, let the world know. Brunch with my creator, can you see? Yeah, it's the human side of the screen.
Grab a plate, take a sip, and let's unwind. Tell me what's really on your mind. Beyond the likes and the crazy trends, what's the story you don't post to your friends? No scripts, no filters, just you. What makes you laugh, what you've been through. The ups, the downs, the highs, the lows. We talk it all before the moment goes. No spotlight stress, just your real side. No highlight reel, just the truth inside. What's the dream you keep tucked away? What keeps you grounded at the end of the day? See, this ain't for the clout or the fame. It's for the soul behind the name. So come on in, let the people see the human like you and me.
Brunch with my creator, yeah. We're just having some fun. Just relax, sharing the moments when the cameras are done. The real you, real love, no filter, no show. See at a table, let the world know. Brunch with my creator, can you see? Yeah, it's the human side of the screen.
Yeah. We laugh about the comments, the wild DMs. Talk about the real when the screen goes dim. What keeps you strong when the pressure's high? How do you heal when the love runs dry? What's your why? What keeps you moving still? What's the joy the algorithm can't kill? The wins, the losses, the lessons learned, and the moments where your spirit burned. Then we open the floor, let the people say hi. They've been watching your journey, now they see why. It's more than content, it's connection too. And today's the day they meet the real you. Cause behind the post there's a beating heart. Behind the numbers there's a work of art. Brunch with my creator, that's the space. Mask off, let me see your face.
Brunch with my creator, yeah. We're just having some fun. Just relax, sharing the moments when the cameras are done. The real you, real love, no filter, no show. See at a table, let the world know. Brunch with my creator, can you see? Yeah, it's the human side of the screen. Brunch with my creator, yeah. Brunch with my creator, yeah.
Guys, welcome in, welcome in. This is Brunch with My Creator, and I am so excited, so very excited to bring to you today one of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life. When I tell you, you guys are in for a wonderful, wonderful interview, I mean it. I mean it. Guys, welcome in, the one, the only, SuperSolid. There we go.
What's going on, buddy? My bad, am I loud?
No, you're actually perfect. You're actually perfect. It sounds like we're good all across the board. All right, sounds like the sound and the tiki-talk is good. It sounds like your sound is good. So like, hey, we made it happen. I apologize about the delay and the fact that we're kicking it. We had to kick it old school because I did not want to rob the people over on YouTube and Twitch from seeing this amazing interview. So I had to like move some stuff around and disconnect some stuff and all this other stuff. But we're here. We're here, Solid. We're locked in.
That's amazing. Thank you. Thanks for having me,
Oh,
man. I really appreciate
absolutely.
this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so let's go ahead and get started because I'm excited about this, and I know everyone has to be absolutely over the moon excited about this as well. Solid, before we go too far, introduce yourself to the people, please, and thank you.
What's going on? My name is Super Solid, aka Super Solidarity, Super Solid 4TP, which stands for the Proletariat, which is my podcast, home of the Pink Proletariat. I'm just a content creator here on TikTok, and my main belief is that class solidarity may just be the solution to all of our problems. And that's my mission. That's my goal. I'm an agitation propagandist, and I'm here to save the world. I got a huge savior complex, so that's it.
Yeah. No, listen. Yeah, it's funny that you say that because, like, I know you say that kind of tongue in cheek, but like that's literally what it is. Like that's literally what it is. Solid. We're gonna get into all of it. And I'm super interested to hear like how you got to where you are, and even the point of you know wanting to quote unquote save the world. But Solid, I would be remiss if I didn't give like just a slight opening, just a slight opening. I know that originally we were talking about like, hey, we're doing cadre, blah 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 blah. Now, I know that you guys put a video out, you kind of explained what was happening, but just for the people, really quick, where are you today with Cadre?
So I am a founding member, or rather, the founder. I was the founder of Academy, and then later on, a founding member of Cadre. Um, and it was a little bit of my brainchild, a labor of love, wanting to bring together like-minded creators that would amplify each other and be able to do mutual aid and spread information, do what we call edutainment, right? So education that is entertaining, because when you're entertained, it's easier to learn. Um, and it blossomed into something wonderful. It blossomed into something exceptional. Just absolutely great. Um, I have so many irons in the fire, um, that I needed to go ahead and take a step back, and just kind of let it, like your children run, like blossom, like your children, like become their own people. I
Mhm.
have to take my hands off and say, hey, grow into what you're going to grow into. Um, so big ups to Cadre. Love Cadre. Love Cadre down. They're wonderful, full of wonderful people, Sean, uh, and the rest of them. Awesome, awesome people. We love Swan. We love Jeff. We love every member.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I appreciate you, taking the time to actually run through that because, like I said, I would be remiss if I didn't start because we are officially just for everyone because again we were going through this entire process of hitting and introducing Cadre, but there were like Salah said, life happens, things change, people make decisions. But we are going to continue to highlight each and every individual because each and every one of these individuals are absolutely amazing. And there is absolutely no way that I would not take the opportunity to highlight all of their voices. So I'm excited that I'm privileged to be able to continue to do this. And I'm excited to be able to bring you guys not only Solid today, but the rest of the people who will be on Brunch with My Creator going on for the next 3 weeks after this. We got 3 more weeks after this. All right. So with that being said, let's get into a Solid. Solid.
Yeah.
Let's start
Sorry,
with
I
something.
misspoke a little bit. I do want to clear something up. Jeff is
Yeah,
also no longer in Cadre, but uh, as far as that group goes, like everyone who was involved, big love to them. Sorry about that.
absolutely. Absolutely. No, absolutely. We're going to go ahead and get rolling here. But guys, as we get into the conversation with Solid, I want to remind everybody, hey, be active participants. Tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart meet. It's only one coin, it'll boost the live. push us out to the FYP, and make sure we are taking care of Solid while he's up here. Make sure we are showing Solid some love. Make sure that we are sending him gifts, hitting that follow button, but also hit those pay links. Hit those pay links. We do have his pay links running in the poll in the bio, so let's just make sure that we are showering him with love while he's up here, and we are appreciating him for what he does. Solid. Let's start off here. So you and I kind of came across each other in an interesting way, right? I remember that like I didn't know who you were, which is like it's mind blowing to me that I actually didn't know who you were because I knew so many other people around you, right? And you know, the first time I came across you, it might have been you know, a couple of pictures on the background. You know how people, you know, do some stuff and they end up on the background. But learning about you and like seeing that and then knowing getting to know you on not just like the app but like off the app and engaging with you, you are absolutely one of the most genuine people I've ever met in my life, right? You're highly intelligent, but you don't beat people over the head with your intelligence, which is a huge plus. How did you come about being like the person that you are today, right? Because I know you have history within the military. I know you have personal things that you've been through. I know that, you know, you've been all around, but what shaped Super Solid into who he is today?
Biggest thing, first of all, I want to give a W to Julie. Thank you for the $3 dono.
W's in the chat, Julie.
Biggest thing is I'm not smart. The difference,
I wouldn't agree with
I
that.
think, well, the difference I think here is that I know how much I don't know, right? And knowing how much you don't know allows you to go and find all the stuff you don't know. You know what I mean? I think, and I'm going to be honest, the what makes me is a dump truck load of trauma. I am a 13-year combat veteran with severe PTSD. I've been battling PTSD for nearly 20 years now. Excuse me, at least diagnosed PTSD. And so the struggle or the crusade to be a good person, the struggle, the crusade to not be harmful to those around me is a core axiom of mine, aka it's one of the things that I hold to be so fundamentally true that I am to make the world better for my family, make the world better, leave behind a better world for my neighbors. It's so fundamentally true to me that it's just part of my personality. And I just genuinely like people. I'm like a puppy.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because like I not only do I get that and I see that and I understand that, but like I've seen you interact with even people that I wouldn't be friendly with, right? Like that's the thing that blows my mind. I've seen you engage with quote unquote ops, and you treat not only do you treat people with a certain level of respect, but you engage with people on like a fundamental level where like there's no way that people can consistently just be like an a-hole or mean to you. Like how did you get to the point where it's just always like, hey, I'm me, I'm not going to let you get me out of sorts, and just like continue to be consistently yourself?
I'd be lying if I said I never got out of my character. You know what I mean? But I'm able to consistently stay in my character because I understand how the op became an op, right? I understand how fascists become fascists. I understand how conservatives become conservatives. I understand how harmful people become harmful. And quite frankly, I don't think any of us are really immune to that. And so it's always humanity first. It's always, this is a human, a person that I'm talking to. Are they in a very unfortunate state of mind? Yeah. Yes. Are they harmful? 100%.
Right.
Do you have a responsibility to protect yourself from that harm? 100%. But at the end of the day, I know what every human needs,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not because I'm like some guru. It's just because I just understand people. Like I've just waited. I spent so much time in my life being socially awkward that
Mm-hmm.
I've studied humans. You know what I mean? I've studied the humans. And what I do know for sure is that people just don't want to be lonely, and they want to
Yeah.
feel important, and they want to
Yeah.
feel seen. And so if you can tap into that, hopefully you use your powers for good,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And that's it's something that I've said as well. Like the currency that we deal with in society today is a social currency, right? It's attention, right? I mean, yes, we talk about money and all this other stuff, but people want attention, but people want attention because people lack the actual the feeling of being seen and heard, and being able to get across to people like, hey, I see you, I hear you, you don't have to be this way, or you don't have to engage this way, or whatever the case may be. Like, that's something that absolutely is critical, and it's something I think that you do at the highest level. So let's dig a little bit further, because I know a little bit about your background, and I know that you're from Colorado, Denver, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Denver, the Midwest,
The
Petty.
Midwest, the Midwest. So when I first came across you, I could have sworn you were like from New York. Like you have that like New York vibe, but then also you kind of give like a Cali vibe. It's weird. I would have never guessed like Denver, right? But the interesting part that I know about you is that the way that you grew up, and I've heard you tell stories. I didn't know you guys had gangs in Denver. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know, it was like there's some streets out in Denver. So, how did someone who growing up around that type of environment, one, shift to being someone that's in your current space, but also two, wanting to actually be the betterment or create solidarity from people where you could have easily just, gone the other direction?
Yeah. Gangs were actually my first introduction to solidarity. Gangs were
Mm,
actually my first introduction to community service.
mm,
I'm not gonna hold you. So the reason why there's like a Cali vibe is because all of our gang members, or well, not all, but many of the OGs, if you will, were Southern California transplants.
mm-hmm,
Um, Legitimate, and I'm legitimately black market is
mm-hmm,
the way I'm going to put that.
mm-hmm,
Legitimate gangsters were um, penalized heavily for their activity.
mm,
We're talking about 94, 96, 1994, 96. The crime bill went in on black folks.
mm-hmm.
Um, the gang unit in Denver was incredibly punitive,
Mhm.
draconian.
Mhm.
I remember being pulled over for having my hat on sideways. And if you know anything
Mm.
about Denver gangs, a sideways hat is not a gang communication. It's not a signifier of gang activity at all. It's
Mhm.
just this the way I like to wear my hat. I think it's fly, right?
Right.
Um, the if you're which I believe, like if you're in the gang unit, you should know better. Like you should know that what the DAP signifies. You should know what the belt color, what the shoelace color signifies. You should
Mhm.
also Denver gangbangers have never been abashed to wear their flags.
Right.
It's never been a thing, right?
Right.
So, but because I grew up actually knowing the OGs, I saw, um, buying groceries. I
Mm.
saw fundraising.
Mhm.
I saw, community policing,
Mhm.
things like that, like escorting, right? There was a situation one time where I was in Montbello
Mhm.
and I went to Martin Luther King Middle School.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched a Crip set ride the bus with a young girl who was being bullied by older white men.
Mm.
And I literally watched I watched them wait on the bus,
Mm-hmm.
get on the bus,
Mm-hmm.
identify the guy, get off the bus, and get active, if you will.
Right.
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 Yeah. That was an example of community policing. That was something that I had never, vigilantism, perhaps, you know
Right.
what I mean? But this was a community taking care of its own. And that was so I learned a lot about um, taking care of community outside of the state from
Mm.
gang activity.
You know what's
So,
interesting? But like
mhm.
you say that, but like that's been a driving force with Black people, right? I mean, like Black people have often found, for lack of a better word, solidarity within each other, and then look at policing each other, look at protecting each other, look at providing for each other. Greatest, and I know this is low hanging fruit, but like the Black Panthers, right? I mean, like the entire premise of them coming together and being in that position to not only use force when it's needed, but to take care of others. Like that's always been. But I think, and maybe I'm going to sound like an old fuddy duddy at the moment, but like I think that's an older thing, right? And maybe I'm mistaken, but I remember similar situations where, like, and growing up where I did, the gang members or whatever, they were old heads, but like they took care of the kids. Like the ice cream truck would come through the neighborhood, and they was on the corner doing their thing, but they would stop the truck, get everybody something. Like, hey, you guys got what you need for school, da 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 da. Like the actual the point of like making sure that you take care of those people in your community. That's something that resonates, and it's super interesting that like it's not just a pocket thing for certain areas. That's something that you see across the board.
Yeah. The caricatures that you see on TV are like the same five for ex rappers, you know,
Mm-hmm.
uh doing this menacing,
Yeah.
we gonna hop in a Cadillac Escalade and we gonna right. But to their communities, a lot of these folks are leadership. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
gangbangers are like they are uh, a caretaker of their
Mm-hmm.
neighborhoods, right?
Mm-hmm.
They do maintenance on their neighborhoods,
Mm-hmm.
um, but you don't see that because you don't live it. You
Right.
see what TV gives you, or you see world star hip hop that is itching to feature the worst images of Black people as they can. I'll give you an example. When I was high school age, I think I was about 16.
Mm-hmm.
I worked for what was called the Safe City Initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Under Safe City Youth Group. It was something that Mayor Wellington Webb had organized. His idea was that if you develop youth leaders, they will spread, I guess, whatever the idea of goodness is
Mm-hmm.
to other youth
Mm-hmm.
and create a safe city. A
Mm-hmm.
part of that initiative was a nonprofit called the Denver Gang Coalition. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and during my time with the Denver Gang Coalition, I watched sureños, norteños, aka Mi Vida Loca, Crips, um, and hate edges, even some white supremacist groups. I watched them sit and have talks about their responsibilities to their crews, to their gangs, to their yeah, hate edge is like a back in the day used to be like a punk rock thing,
Mm-hmm.
to be sober and listen to punk rock, right, or something like that, or
Wait, you
metal.
so you
That
say,
was called a straight edge.
and that's what I was just about to say. I've heard of straight edge.
Yeah, hate edge is that, but they believe in ethno nationalism.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's ridiculous, but okay. Uh, they're just like, listen, we just want to be just as boring as we can possibly be. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But we do like a good heavy metal song.
Yeah.
So I watched them talk about the responsibilities they had to their communities. I watched them I watched them like find similarities, like commonality between each other, talking about mothers they had to feed and schools that they were near, and the idea of keeping gang life away from those children, and talking about the friends that they had lost and to either prison or violence. And so there's just like this human side that we just don't get because we're not there.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people, like, that's the interesting part. If you, in my opinion, if you don't necessarily go through certain things, and you don't have that lived experience, at times it's harder for people to make that connection, right? Not everyone has the ability to show empathy, right? And so they don't feel for others. And so since they don't feel for others, any type of experience, like you can, like I said, or like you said, you see the caricature from the outside on TV, and you think like that's just who they are, not understanding like the presence that certain people have within their communities, within our society. And for me, that speaks to the fact that like there's always someone who is doing more than you think, right? And there's always a purpose behind people, even if you don't understand that purpose. So there's that. Okay, solid. So I want to push this forward just a little bit, because I've heard you talk about like your education background, and you said you went. What's the name? Say your college again.
Which one? I've been to 4. It took me 8 years to
Okay,
get my undergrad.
tell me about your educational background then, because it's always so interesting to me when you talk about like education, in the sense that there are certain people that are book smart and then quote unquote street smarts, but there are certain people who have the ability to obtain knowledge and information and quote unquote education outside of a formal setting, so much so that it exceeds a formal setting. So like if listening to you, I would think that you have like a PhD, right? Like listening to some of the conversations that I've heard you have, and like some of the ways that you break things down, like I would think that you have that level of education. But it's been interesting whenever I hear you talk about your education.
So imagine having a specialty job that isn't at the peak. It's not at the top, right? But because it's a specialized job, the layman just isn't going to know any better, right? For example, I was a respiratory therapist in the Army for off and on for about 8 years. And yeah, it does. My producer Petty is saying it means I say ubiquitous a lot, and I do say ubiquitous, ubiquitously.
Yeah.
So being a respiratory therapist, I understand like respiratory therapy. I understand the respiratory system, ventilation, perfusion, but I don't know nearly as much as a pulmonologist. So, but to the layman, I can sit up here and say, yeah, a patient with a hemothorax probably deserves a chest tube. You want to monitor for fissures. You want to use a pressure control mode with a peak inspiratory pressure of at least 20 to 30, right? With maybe like a PEEP that's closer up, so we can create sort of a bi-level, right?
Those are
if
words.
you're not a respiratory therapist,
I was
you
about
don't
to say,
know what I'm talking
those
about.
are absolute words. I know those are
Yeah.
words. I don't know how the words work, but I know those are words.
But they're and that's the thing. They're just the words. They're just the words. They mean what they mean in that sense, and it may sound like I'm super duper. Ooh, this guy knows, but no, I'm talking about the basics. I'm talking about common things that you would see in respiratory therapy. Likewise, when it comes to sociology and the examination of sociology, that wasn't, excuse me, even my major. When I was in the Army, I went to Thomas Edison for distance learning, trying to get my degree in respiratory therapy. When I got out, I said, I'm going to be a businessman. So I started like a business curriculum at Central Texas College, right outside of Fort Hood. The Wiz got a good job. The Wiz, my wife, my wisdom, got a good job back out east.
Don't give that up because I'm going there as well. I need to know. Okay. We're going to talk about all these code words that you have. Anyway, go ahead. Go. All
right. So we decided to come back out to the East Coast. We love DC. We love the DMV. And so clearly, so I said, okay, let's go. And while I waited, I enrolled at Columbia Southern University, so I can get a IT degree. And then I was like, ew, this is gross. So then I went to Central Texas College. Sorry. I went to Northern Virginia Community College to get my associates just in general studies while I figured out what more I wanted to go for. And then I enrolled at University of Maryland Global Campus to get a degree in communications with, and I minored in sociology. So literally I have a bachelor's understanding of sociology and not even like a full-fledged, you know what I mean? Right. So if you took somebody like Loic Waquant, who has a master's, has a double master's, and I think a PhD in sociology, who's read Weber and all of these, he's forgotten more about sociology than I know altogether. Also, W. Erica, thank you so much for the $15 dono. But here in this space, even though we all live in society, me saying sociology 101 type stuff sounds super smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think not only does it sound super smart, but it is, and like I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, and there is a sense of like anyone can do it.
I'm so sorry, I forgot. I'm also a member of Mensa.
Oh. Yeah, there's that.
I'm also on the bus.
You know what? I'm feeling a little bit I'm feeling a little bit me. So let's do this.
Feeling you?
You know what?
Yeah.
Has to give the people solid. Give the people what they want. Guys, tap the screen, share the live. Make sure you send your daily heart me. Guys, give Solid. Let's make sure that we are appreciating Solid for who he is and what he does, because he is absolutely, absolutely amazing. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. Make sure that we are giving him a follow. Make sure that, his pay links are running in the link tree in the bio. Make sure that we are hitting his pay links. Do all the wonderful things. Solid.
Thanks, Phil, for the $25 dono. Yes, sir.
W's in the chat, Phil. You don't fuck with Jones. And like I heard that a long time ago, and it's super interesting. Without, as much as you feel comfortable, fuck it, let's go here. Excuse my language. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's just lay it out for a second. What in the world happened? Like, I never understood, like, what was the thing between you guys, and like I've heard you say, like, if you ever in Florida, somebody's gonna be counting teeth. And like, I'm just like, what happened with that?
You know, without rehashing a bunch of the controversy,
right?
He and I really started off as members of like a kind of an unofficial group, right? I was really good friends with Dantrell. I was really good friends with Sebastian Cole, aka Pinkbeard, and Jones was there, and I really liked really like Jolly, but didn't know him too well. Now,
Mhm.
you know, me and Jolly are really cool. There were things that I noticed. There were just things that I noticed, like I would notice that Jones would keep running off with the bag. And then people would come and confide to me because of my proximity.
Mm.
And I would say, uh-oh. And then they would say, Solid, please don't say anything. So I
Mhm.
had to kind of sit on it.
Mm.
No pause.
Mm.
But I was waiting to be let off the leash.
Mhm.
And so as soon as they gave me the word that it was okay to kirk out, I held a little mini live.
Mhm.
Yes, we don't pause over here.
We
Pause
do
would
not.
indicate that there's something wrong with being homosexual. We don't.
We do
So
not.
we don't pause here.
Mhm.
You know. What else was I saying? Oh. So somebody kind of let me off the leash. There was one where I kind of couldn't hold it in and held a little mini live just to put the feelers out there and say, hey, listen, I know stuff and things. I know things and stuff. You might want to tread lightly. Then we got word from a lot of the survivors of Jones's BS that they would like a platform to talk about their stuff. So,
yeah.
We knew that there was going to be some mass reporting from Tough, and so we used my lives as kind of a sacrificial lamb to do so.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that the survivors could get their stuff out.
So,
but he know what it is.
So let me say this, and the reason why I brought that up is not necessarily because to be messy or anything like that, but to get to something that like I think is like super important, right? Super important. I talked about like when I first came across you and like what was happening, and I kind of mentioned that in the beginning, and I think it's super important to say like that's where I gain respect for you, like that point. And the reason why it was that point is because not only did you show like moral integrity, you show character, you show like an actual willingness to stand up and say like, hey, like this is wrong, and I'm telling you this is wrong, while at the same time understanding like how this social media atmosphere works, how this entire like people can you just mentioned it, like your live kept getting reported, right, which would have put your account in jeopardy, and you were like, no, this is so much more important. And like my entire point of saying that is you have an infallible moral compass, at least from what I've seen, right? You're someone who stands in your principle. From what I've seen, you stand in your principle, you stand on business, and you say what you mean what you say, right? I've heard you in a lot of instances, and whether I agree or disagree, I always respect what you say because you are genuine in the things that you say and do. How are you able to hold that type of principle, especially in a world where things can be either, people are out for themselves, or people can be super phony, or like things can change. Like we know for a fact that, they talk about grifting online or whatever. So many people can change who they are to make, more money or do this or do that. But you seem to be someone in everything that you do, you just stand 10 toes down in who you are, and you are unapologetically you. How do you do that?
By screwing up a lot. Uh, I'm not. My producer is down there always. I surround myself with people who are going to check me, who are going to say. I've said the words like, remind me that I told you to check me, because I'm wrong all the time. I do wrong stuff all the time. I'm not. I spend a lot of my life dealing with trauma by trying to hide from it, lying to get out of it, and so what ended up happening is, in order to be proud of myself, I started having to be very truthful about my right. And that even sometimes has gotten me into a lot of trouble because, you know, I won't be proud of myself if I'm feeding you some BS, you know, wrong all the time, wrong all the time. The difference is that I'm, sorry, that's the whiz there. Them some fine footsteps. I'm gonna tell you something. Even the way she walks sound fine. She sound fine when she walk. So the the same way I treat my intelligence, where it's like, no, I don't know everything, so I have to admit that to myself so I can go and learn everything. I'm not always right. I'm not always doing the right thing. So I have to admit that to myself so I can go and do the right thing.
I think that's important though. Like being honest with yourself is like one of the most critical things that you can actually do. And it's also one of the most difficult things that you can do. And like I've heard you speak about like who you are. And I've heard you talk about like, that's not the first time I've ever heard you say like, I mess up or whatever. But then I've also heard you talk about like your mental health and like your history, especially like with your military service. And I heard you talk about like how you went from where you were and getting help and then becoming who you are today and how that's progressed. I, understanding that, like, I think that, well, I know there's a mental health crisis in the country, heck, probably around the world, but understanding that a lot of people, and specifically men, don't have that level of emotional intelligence to say like, hey, I need help, and hey, I need to be better. Um, do you think that's one of the reasons why you've been able to build the type of community circle people that you have? Because you're always someone who's admitting, like you just said, like, I don't know everything, I need help. And so no matter if it's like help with the mental health aspect, whether it's mutual aid, whether it's just like whatever, you seem to be someone that is always willing to say like, hey, these are the things that I don't have this, or I don't know that, or whatever. Let's all come together and be together and get better together. Like mental health is such a huge thing for me. It seems like it's something that you stand on, and like that togetherness as a whole point is something that you build off of.
Okay. I had to the reason why I'm going to stand on business about mental health is because I hit rock bottom. I actually didn't for real get help until I was at the point where I called the hotline. Yeah, you know what I mean? The SuperSolid hotline. And I said, listen, I told them, I said, hey, listen, I don't have a plan yet, but I'm thinking maybe it's better if I'm just not on this earth anymore. And I went to thank you, Carmela, for the $20 dono.
It was in the chat.
I went through an 11-week program, right? And luckily I had the VA to lean on. Oh, I'm so sorry. Trigger warning, content warning. Yo, I apologize. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Things like oversight. I'm busy talking about myself. I'm not thinking about the effect that I may have on some audience members. So trigger warning, content warning. I apologize. Let's give it 5 seconds. There it is. There it is. Sorry, Santana.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to drop you in and you can come back. Wow. Seems like some people are upset. Seems like some people are upset. That's interesting. That's a first. That's a first. That is absolutely a first. Holy smokes. We're gonna get Solid back up here in just one moment. Oh, okay. Okay. 1 second. While we get him back up here, a couple of quick W's in the chat. W's in the chat for Jody. Jody sent a $3 Aussie to say much love, Santana. Much love, Jody. W's in the chat, Jody. W's in the chat for Christopher, who sent a $5 donation saying, the first to admit ignorance is the first to gain wisdom. Like, I agree with that. W's in the chat for Angie, who sent a $15 donation saying, please give 10 to Solid for thank you for all that you do. I got you. I will absolutely send that over to Solid. W's in the chat. Guys, I appreciate the love and support and kindness, but guys, please, 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 when we get Solid back up here, make sure we're taking care of Solid. His pay links will be running in the link tree in the bio. Show him some love. Make sure that we are taking care. Okay. Make sure we show him some love. Also, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 100,000 likes. Make sure you're showing some love. Also, guys, make sure you're protecting lives. So if you don't mind, make sure that you are knocking out the daily gift goal. 1 second here. Make sure you're knocking out that daily gift goal and tapping the screen. Also, hit that follow button. Hit that follow button. If you're not following me, we're driving to 100,000 followers. Got it. We're driving towards 100,000 followers. So make sure that you guys hit that follow button. You look up at the top, you see the word follow. You're not following me. Hit that follow button. We are doing Brunch with My Creator with Solid, and it's something that is something that I've absolutely wanted to do for a while here. We're gonna get Solid back up here in just 1 second, but we want to give the floor to Kay for a moment.
Hey everyone. So before we bring Solid back up, just a quick announcement. If anyone is struggling and needs someone to talk to, you can dial 988. If you are a veteran, you can use option 1 for veteran specific needs. You can reach out to rain.org that has an escape hatch. You can reach out to the Trevor Project that focuses a lot on the queer community. We want to make sure that everyone has somewhere that they can go. Also, if you need someone to talk to, but you're not in crisis, but you really do need someone to talk to, it might not be a crisis right now, but you need a warm line, dial 211, nationally 211 in the United States, 988 if you are in crisis. People are standing by to be able to help you. They will give you all the resources that you need locally, and they will put you in touch with people that you need. We absolutely support mental health on this platform, and TikTok's very sensitive, so not really people in the chat this time. So we're just going to keep it moving, and we'll have Solid back up. I think everything's fine now.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you, Kay. All right, guys, we're going to get back to it. We're going to get Solid back up here. And like I said, as soon as we get Solid back up here, show him some love. Please, please, please. And
what?
Okay, yeah, go grab an alt count and switch out for him. Perfect. Okay, give him just one more moment. He's going to grab his alternate account, and we're going to keep it pushing. W's in the chat in the meantime to Bridget. Bridget's in a $5 super chat to say, found you through others as someone with CPTSD. Thank you for always openly discussing mental health. Listen, mental health is super important. It's super important, and I think it's absolutely something that everyone needs to address. I know for a fact that mental health is, an issue that a lot of people don't want to deal with, and even within the Black community, right? Like mental health, people don't necessarily want to deal with it like the way they should, and so that's really important. But with that being said, we got Solid back up here. We got Solid up here now. We got him. Holy smokes, we got him. All right, guys, keep tapping the screen. We're almost at 100,000 likes. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 150,000 likes. All right, Solid. We're good.
So apologies.
All good.
Apologies. I think that maybe there's something to be said about how the app treats things like that,
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because that is not the point of the story.
Yeah.
The point of the story is that I waited too long, that I isolated myself, and that it took a while for me to actually go and get into a program. It was an 11-week program. And by the time the program was over, by the way, thank you, Dragon Lover, for the $15 dono.
That was in the chat.
By the time it was finished, it was like somebody flipped a switch. You know what I mean? I got a junior political analyst position with the Office of Congressional Relations at USDA. It was like like right out the gate. It was like ready to finish school right out the gate. Like it was this thing where it's like it was there the whole time. Like that potential to execute and have executive function was there the entire time. The issue here is that, Santana, what if I told you that I could boil down a great deal of human suffering to one thing?
I don't know if I would necessarily believe you, but I would be interested to hear you.
What if I told you it was something that was so like, huh? What if I told you it was labor?
What do you mean?
That labor and how much of your labor actually belongs to you, that was at the core of the majority of your suffering. What if the exploitation of your labor led to some super nasty stuff, right? Like went to extremes. Like I went to a foreign country and was a part of an imperialistic force for my nation over theirs, and that meant that I had to see, smell, taste, touch and hear some really gross stuff.
Right.
Right. And what if I told you that there's just this huge apparatus bent to convince us that this is the normal way to live life, and that the types of reactions that I had are actually expected. They're really expected. They're the normal human response to that level of trauma, and that probably 99.9999999999% of the people watching right now have probably experienced something similar to just feeling forlorn, feeling like you don't matter, feeling like what's the point, feeling like you're isolated. Getting help gave me the realization that community, that and hearing a video about Epicurus, sorry. And ostensibly what was the first commune, taught me that, like, oh, the answer is community. The answer is being a part of a group, a part of a community that works with each other. Barbara, thank you for the $15 dono. It means working with each other, having your work belong to you, having your work be meaningful, and going and you having autonomy. There's a great deal of our unhappiness that comes from a lack of autonomy.
I think, yeah, I think with that, and like, it's interesting that you call that out, because I would think that like having that lack of autonomy, as you would say, is just feeling like you're out of control. And it's super interesting because there's a lot of people who need control in every aspect of life, right? Need to feel like they are driving the actual car in every single direction, and not understanding like that there's an invisible hand that's possibly moving you, right? And so, like, hearing you say that, it doesn't surprise me, and even more so, it makes sense. So, like that's mind blowing that even that it resonates. And I guess the follow up question I would have for that then is, you said the answer is community, but like why? Like why is community the answer in the sense of breaking individuals out of that and being able to no longer be in the realm of exploitation, but even more so in some real sense of control?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I would have to speak to some sort of evolutionary component in us, and
Mhm.
I just don't know. But I just, the way we are situated as animals, we just, you know, those lone wolves, they come up and they're like, I'm a lone wolf and I'm here I am, I'm a lone
Mhm.
wolf, I don't need nobody, alpha male, here I am. Even alpha males want to lead a pack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even the lone wolves are in a club of lone wolves. They're
Yeah.
like, they will share with each other. They will buy t-shirts that signify that they're in the lone wolf club because
Mhm.
they want other people to know that they're lone wolves. They buy the fingerless gloves from a dude who, you know, sourced the leather from somewhere. Like you do not escape being in a community ever. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. Um, and if you do, we don't know about it because you're not in society.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know why we need community so bad, but I know that we do. I know that capitalism wants to rob us of that, and I know that the toll that it took on me meant almost losing my family.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, so you actually gave me a perfect segue because, like, while there is community, right, and community is absolutely necessary and it's amazing, and I agree. Like, community is one of the strongest things that we have. I say this all the time, especially like when we're doing community aid and we have hundreds or thousands of people watching. I'm like, hey, if we all send $1, we can take care of this, right? And so I understand how important like community is in so many different aspects, but family, Dom, family is super important. And the thing that I've spotted and like always respected about you is that you don't play about your family. Like you will shut everything down that you're doing in real time. And whether it's, your wife showing up, you got to do something with your kids or whatever, like it will stop. It does not matter what's happening. If it's your family, like you will make the world stop spinning. Why is family so important for you?
I just because I love them.
Mm,
I again can't explain it. Can't explain it. I'm just better with my family. Um, uh, you know, my wife and I were separated for a long while,
mhm,
and I can't put a finger on it.
mhm,
Maybe because she's just awesome. I
mhm.
gravitated back to her, but
Yeah,
like just they're just dope. Like they're just where I belong.
yeah, yeah.
So you know, I don't.
I I can get that one though. Like that one makes sense, and even more so, like because I say this about my wife all the time. Like she's the best person that I know, and not only is she the best person that I know, but she absolutely guides me in so many different things. She makes me better. She holds me accountable. She keeps me honest. And so I understand that, and like that's a huge thing. And I guess the segue that I have is kind of gave up the game, but you call your wife the whiz. Why? And what is that about?
Man, I heard Pretty Tony. I heard Ghostface Killer say on a song, call his wife the Wiz. And I was like, that's
Mm,
fly. I was like, that's dope.
yeah.
And then later on, I met a 5%er who was talking to me about universal language. Now, I don't subscribe to 5%ers. I'm
Hmm.
not of Islam or anything like that.
Hmm.
But I just thought it was lit. Like my man was like, yeah, do you know why he says that? Do you know why he said? why he says the whiz, it means in universal language, the wife is your wisdom.
Mm.
And I said, whoa, okay. And then I was thinking, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever be doing something that you just doing it and you just like, this is the thing that I'm gonna do. And then your wife be like, no, you're doing it wrong. And then you go,
Yep.
you know what? You're right. I'm doing it. I'm doing it wrong.
I will I'll give a little bit of inside baseball, right? While I often am the person on the screen doing all the things and making the faces and the sounds and all this other stuff, my wife is quite often the person that like pushes me in one direction or the other, shapes and guides me. And this run of Brunch with My Creator, literally her idea. Like the decision to say like, hey, these individuals are absolutely amazing and you should highlight them. And I was like, yeah, I should. And so the reason why, Solid, you and I are sitting right here today, right now, is because of the wisdom from my wife. So
W.
right. So I completely understand exactly where you're coming from, and you know, having that ability to have a partner who always pushes you in the right direction, and always you want to be better for them, they want to like continue to be better for you. Like that's a huge thing, and I think that's absolutely amazing. So I want to shift gears a half a second and a little bit, and get a little bit more militant, if you don't mind. Solid. I've heard you talk, and I know there's certain things that you can say online, and then you can't say. You gotta take it offline. But I want to talk about throwing more bricks. You often give your outro, and you say a lot, and we're going to hear that. But I want to stick to one point right here, and I want to kind of dig into it, and that's the throw more bricks portion. And while we talked about community, and we've talked about family, and we've talked about solidarity, we haven't talked about the aspect of, hey, sometimes you got to get active. What's your thoughts on that? And why are you encouraging people to throw more bricks?
Fundamentally, capitalism is exploitative. The state regulates capitalism. The state maintains the status quo. The state is a monopoly on violence. I don't know if any of you have ever seen I'm a Virgo. It's a Boots Riley joint, where there's a character on there named Jones, and they give this explanation of black markets and why they exist and why poverty exists and these things. And basically the summary of it all is that the tools that are necessary to free you are violent. The your oppression is maintained through violence. You may not recognize that, but it's the way it is. If I don't respect your private property, if I come and Santana, you got a store with a bunch of tomatoes in it. And I come in and I grab one of tomatoes and I walk out. You say, no, the agreement is you're supposed to pay me for it. Right. I say, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to pay for this tomato. And you say, all right, then I'm going to call the police on you. What does that really mean? Does that mean they're going to come and they're going to say, nope, you can have the tomato, but you got to barbecue with it, right? Or does that mean that they are going to present to ensure that you get your item back, you get your property back? And right, so we can do this thing where I keep refusing to give you your private property back, right? And eventually they are authorized to use, oh, look at that, that's cool. Eventually they are authorized to use violence to make me give you your tomato back. Right. Yeah. That's how private property is enforced. So when we say that, we say what we mean is the state is a monopoly on violence. It means that the state, it means that our government, it means that elites are the only ones who are authorized to do violence on us, whether it be the dominant racial group through their vigilantism, whether it be the bourgeoisie through their monopolies on or their gatekeeping, their financial gatekeeping for like sustaining resources like water. You know, why did I say water like that? Water.
I just flowed.
Hey,
you got it.
Water. Whether it be any of those things, violence is absolutely a part of our everyday lives. I am a big fan of the Black Panther Self-Defense Party. And I believe that I also believe in freedom. I believe that you should be free. I believe that your viewers should be free. And I believe that there's no way the state will let you just decide to be free, because they have a job to do. They have to maintain the status quo, and the status quo is ensuring that there's an impoverished population that creates an army of hungry and desperate workers. And that, you know, in order to have a population of desperate and hungry workers, you gotta wrangle up a few. You have to maybe create some conditions that are going to lead to you being hungry and not clothed and unhoused. Loic Waquant is one of the sociologists that I should be introducing sometime this month. Petty, don't hit me. But he talks about ethno-racial dominance. He talks about peculiar institutions and ways that the bourgeoisie find to enforce their dominance, to keep you poor, to keep that stratification in place, to make sure that there is a widening gap in well-being, financial, economic, or otherwise, between themselves and us. And all of that, at the end of the day, means that they are going to be able to have access to violence towards you. You cannot fight that. That is oppression. I don't care if you agree with that or not. It's oppression. It is oppression. The fact that you don't get to decide what time you wake up in the morning. You wake up at the time that the person who pays you tells you to wake up. The fact that you have to dedicate the best hours of your day, not to your family or the things that make you happy, that is oppression. I don't care that you think it's normal. It's oppression. It means that you don't have a choice. Anytime you don't have a choice, you're coerced to do some stuff. And I don't want that for you. I want freedom for you. And you're going to have to defend yourself from people who don't want you to be free. We are in Iran right now. Okay,
right now.
Let me shut up.
Right now. Guys, this is a great point to call out. Tap the screen, share the live. Let's get the likes up to 200,000 likes. Also, please show Solid some love. Show Solid some love, show Solid some appreciation. Let's go ahead and get his coins up. Can we get it up to over 2,000 coins, please and thank you. 2,000 coins, please and thank you. Also, guys, make sure you give him a follow. This is his backup account, but I've seen his backup account looking kind of, let's make sure we're hitting the follow on the backup account. Let's hit the follow on the backup account. Last but not least, a couple of shout outs, right? W's in the chat for Sean. Sean sent a $10 donation saying, this is for SuperSolid. I'll get it over to him. From a fellow veteran, I appreciate you and what your generation of troops. I appreciate you and your generation of troops. You have my utmost respect and a few new views. Also, I respect that what you've done with your educational benefits. I'm glad to see many more like you out there. Absolutely. W's in the chat for Sean. W's in the chat for Jen, who sent a $10 donation and said, 5 for you, 5 for Solid. Thank you for such a great interview and discussion. Jen, thank you so much for the love, support, and kindness. I will make sure to get that over to Solid. Guys, W's in the chat for the donos, but please make sure we are taking care of Solid, hitting his pay links, which are running in the pay link, in the link tree in the bio. Solid, how much more time do you have? Because I know I had technical difficulties. TikTok was acting a little bit funny. How much more time do you have?
Chilling. I got about another half an hour, I think.
Okay. So this is what we're going to do, because I want people to be able to get up and get to some questions for you. So guys, if you are interested in actually giving Solid some questions, if you have a question for Solid, please go ahead and hop in the box. But when you get up here, make sure you have a question. make sure you have a question, and we will start to get people in so we can get some actual questions answered for Solid. With that being said, I got two more. All right. So, Solid. You are absolutely someone that I refer people to often, right? I refer people to you in the sense of like understanding the next level, understanding what it looks like to not only engage as far as online advocacy, understanding community online, but like taking it offline. And I've heard you mention the Patreon and all this other stuff, and you're truly doing the work. And I know you just said that you want freedom for everyone, but I've also heard you kind of talk about like, hey, I might be picked up in the van and, like dragged off and da 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 da. Solid. Honest question. Why are you willing to put it all on the line, not only for the people in your community, but for the people that you don't even know? Like, why? What drives you to actually want people to have freedom, to understand like what you're doing is dangerous, but you're still willing to do it for people that may not ever appreciate you, thank you, or hell, even know that you did it?
Don't hit me. I don't know. it's just, I don't know. I don't know. It's just always been a thing. Like it's when I thought that my service meant protecting my country, it was just my purpose, right? When I was a respiratory therapist, saving lives was my purpose. It just gives me a purpose. Hopefully I never get snatched into a van.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Hopefully I get to keep all my fingernails and toenails and never have water in my nose. The reason why I said that was because I just want to know that, like, listen, if it ever happens, are you going to do something about it? If I do something about it. Don't sit there and just go, that's messed up. And, because I am you. When I sign off, I say, all power to all the people except for Ralph. Except for Ralph is just a joke to make you pay attention. There's no Ralph. Sorry. I'm sorry.
I was gonna bring that up next, but since we're here, let's do it. For the longest, I was like, who is Ralph and what did he do to make Solid so mad?
What did he do to make Solid that mad?
I was like, every single time, I'm like, all right, I guess Elf Ralph. Like, Ralph must have really, like, peed in Solid's cornflakes or something. Like, what happened?
There's no Ralph. Ralph doesn't exist. I literally, do you remember how the Joker would talk about his scars? He go,
yeah.
You want to know how I got these scars, right? Yeah. And Ralph is my scars. Ralph is just, there's no explanation. I don't think there needs to be an explanation. It's just there. But I say all power to all the people except for Ralph. And that just means that the proletariat, the working class, is who the power should belong to. The power of production, the means of production, the power of governance, dictatorship of the proletariat, like that all should belong to the workers. But then I say, do something good for your neighbor. That is a call to action. That is me advocating for mutual aid. Help your neighbors out with something. Just do a task just for your neighbor, because again, community, when it all crashes. Now, who your neighbor is, that's up to you. Which person you see as your neighbor, that's up to you. Yeah. But do something good for your neighbor. When we talk about, the next thing I say is Ubuntu, right? Which means I am because we are. And I exist because we exist. You exist because we exist. If it could happen to me, it can happen to you. If it happened to them, it could happen to you.
Yeah.
A threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. It could be you. We are connected, whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I am because my community is. And then I say, Viva la raza, that just give land back to the indigenous people. And then I say, throw more bricks. And this is a constant reminder. Every time I sign off, these are the goals. This is what we're chasing.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. It's just been a fact of my life that, when you are speaking out for the underdog, when you are speaking out for others, it could be you who gets silenced. It could be, right? When you are speaking out and causing cognitive dissonance and angering people and ruffling feathers, even though it's for the right thing, people want you to stop talking. They don't want you to be able to talk. They're afraid of, well, what if people start to believe this? What if people start to internalize this and do something about it? They don't like that. They don't like to have to think of a world that is different from this one. They don't want to have to navigate uncertainty. And so when you talk about freedom, when you talk about community action, when you talk about liberation, you're not safe. You're not. I would be foolish to think that let me think about how to say this. My proximity to some very powerful people, I would be foolish to think that they don't know what my online activity is.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Maybe it's a little insurance. Maybe if I tell you, hey, listen, I'm of sound mind and believe in what I'm saying. Maybe it's a little insurance. Maybe if you find out, oh, where did Solid go? Solid came back, he ain't got no toenails.
No toenails.
That means it's time. That means it's time. Like mount up. It's already time. It's time now. But
absolutely. All right.
Well, Kathleen, for the $25 donut.
Absolutely. W's in the chat. All right, guys, I'm going to start bringing people in after this question. So please make sure if we get you, when I get you in here, you have a question ready for Solid. Please make sure that you have a question ready for Solid. But guys, make sure we're showing Solid some love. Can we get him above 4K coins? Please show Solid some love. Hit that follow button. This is his backup account. Please follow the backup account, but also he has his pay links running in the link tree in the bio. Let's show him some love for this labor that he is putting in for us today. And make sure that you check out all the wonderful things, including the Patreon, the pod, all of that is in the link tree in his bio. Solid, excuse me. The last question that I have, I usually like to end on something where it's like, oh, Solid. How do we fix this world? And listen, I'm just gonna throw it
for the $50 donut.
I know that's right. W's in the chat. I'm gonna throw it at you because no pause. Because I say it kind of tongue in cheek, but I look at you as someone with like wisdom beyond your years and understanding of like the world around us, someone who's well-traveled, someone who is in tune and intact and emotionally and intellectually capable. And I know it sounds like a large lift and a large task, but break it down on an individual level. Like, how can we try to positively benefit things or benefit the world or make a positive change on an individual level? Because I know one person can't change the world by themselves, but a group of people coming together with the same purpose, function, and moving in the right direction, you can make some stuff happen. So what can the people do, Solid?
Throw more bricks. Revolution. Get free. Liberate yourself. Read some theory. God, Jesus. Read some theory. read theory, read theory, read theory, read theory, and then put that theory into action. Do some praxis. Praxis is where you apply theory, right? You do some action. Your community is where you start. You start locally, you think globally. You save the world is, I mean, Jiminy Cricket. You know, my sister talks about primitive accumulation, right? And that's the gathering of the resources necessary to enact. By the way, go watch her stuff. She does Daily Bread quite often. Yeah, Commissar Sean. Yeah. She talks about primitive accumulation, which is gathering the necessary resources to instate like a revolution to liberate yourself. And that is, oh God, that is just the starting point. You know what I mean? There are people who are so much smarter than me, Commissar Sean, who have dug into it, that know the answers. And these are the folks that you need to pay attention to. Somebody in the comments says, be specific. No, 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 I will not. But if you go read theory, they will be specific. If you go and you, read the works of liberationists, Frantz Fanon, Kwame Ture, Angela Davis, you know, if you read that theory, then you'll have an understanding of how the bell hooks. Yes, Ari, I'm so sorry. Bell hooks. Kwame Nkrumah. They do have a lot of answers. They can talk to you about the formation of the material world. They will arm you with the ability to understand dialectical materialism and do some dialectical materialism yourself, so that right. If your car stops working, your car doesn't work. You don't just go, I'm gonna fix this car and then just start hitting it with a wrench. You know, you do diagnostics and you figure out what's wrong with the car.
Yeah.
And so there are a great many of us who are waiting for TikTok streamers to tell them all of the answers. When there is an entire library, there's just mountains and mountains of books on the exact topic of liberation. You know what I mean?
I do. I think that's some of the best advice that I've heard, because everybody, it's always like, where do I start? How do I do it? And like, you literally just gave them the roadmap to where do you start? And I think that's worth its weight in gold. All right, guys, we're gonna start bringing people in as we get you up here. Solid, can you give me a time check? How many questions do you think you have?
We got 2:30. I'm gonna slap on. The Wiz just finished all the prep. We're having smothered pork chops, so I think we got another smooth 30 minutes.
Okay,
so
perfect.
We're in the clear. Yeah.
All right, guys. As I get you up here, please come up. Be ready. Have a question for Solid. Make sure you have your question for Solid. And also, guys, make sure that you are still showing Solid some love. Tap the screen, share the live, and make sure you give Solid a follow. Can we get his coins up above 5,000? Please get it above 5,000, and make sure he has his pay links running in the link tree and the poll in the bio. Please make sure that you guys are showing Solid some love. All right, Zay, how are you?
Good in yourself?
Good. Zay, what question do you have for Solid?
Whoa. Most definitely. Hey, so how do I take what I've learned and kind of feed it to the homies to make more of an inclusive, more of an inclusive community? And then like my view of God came up with the older people that I work with, and they kind of step back. How do I get past that?
First of all, who are the homies? Are the homies Damu?
Some Damu, some Crip.
They're already prime. They're already primed. They're already hungry. You know what I mean? Every time you see somebody put some doo-darts on, they're hungry. They're already primed. They're already operating on the black market, right? They just don't understand the jargon. They don't know what a lumpen proletariat is. You know what I mean? You put it to them in simple terms, like, "Hey, Slim, you're being used." Even as a street businessman, right? Right? You're being used. You are cannon fodder for a system that wants to see you in prison, wants to see you not be able to go where you want, do what you want, so that they can make you work and not have to pay you. Right? And so the thing growing up, the thing that by the way, Zay's from Denver. So I'm speaking to him in very Denver.
And I'm still out here. That's why I'm trying to.
Yeah, centric. Yeah. It's very Denver centric language and relation here. The direction, right? When I was coming up, right, we used to go down on Lodo, right? We used to go to the Purple Martini, to the Bash. You know what I'm saying? There used to be a Crip set named Gambino Family, right? And they would come down to the Bash. Couldn't get in the Bash. The Bash wouldn't let them in, but they would come down there just to set trip, right? Imagine if they would have had direction. You simply have to show them the direction. You simply have to communicate to them. This is why we do this. This is the direction that we should be headed in, and you lead by example, right? So when you love the Purple Martini, that's hilarious. When you out doing mutual aid, just let the homies know, hey, we finna make this ride real quick. I'm finna go do this thing, right? And then go feed some people. You know what I'm saying? I know all you got. Slim, let me ask you a question. How many steps can you take from 16th and Colfax before you hit somebody who's unhoused?
You might get 2 in.
You might get 2 steps in. They might be in at the bus stop, right? You get off that 15 limited, right?
They there on the bus stop.
They right there on the bus stop, right? Grab the homies. Hey, every Wednesday, every Saturday, just for 5 minutes, instead of you trying to pull up on something. You know what I'm saying? I know what it's like. You want to pull up on something. You want to make some moves. Some love moves, you know what I'm saying? Before that, just, hey, be that guy. Let's go pass out some sandwiches. You dig? It's a catalyst. It sparks something in them that says, well, this is part of our identity.
Absolutely.
Are you tracking?
I'm tracking all the way. I got you.
Okay.
All right.
Hillside. Woo woo.
And then what about the last part? My bad. Just because I work with an older cat, and my viewpoints on God came up. So since then he kind of stepped back. In the older community, I noticed that's an issue. How do I kind of get around that? Obviously, I'm not bringing up God no more, but
don't save him. One thing is fundamentally true, right? That whether you believe that there's a next world or reincarnation or what we finna do, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, you know, whether you believe there's a heaven or there's a hell, right? One thing you can be sure about for sure is that you're here right now. And you can do good deeds here now. Somebody at my job, he say, which one is the better child? The one who says he will and won't do what his parents say, or the one that says he won't and does? Right? your deeds. You don't need, nobody's coming. It's my personal opinion. Nobody's coming to save us but us.
Yep.
There's nobody coming to save us but us. I'm gonna shake the table a little bit. AOC's not coming to save us for real. You know what I'm saying? I low key fucks with AOC, but what's she gonna do? How's she gonna make a hot dog machine crank out a chair? This machine is built for exploitation. How's she gonna make it not exploit us? And don't nobody got a plan to liberate us. Nobody but us. So what you waiting on the other side? You waiting on some deity to come and save you, and you do have evidence of millions of people that weren't saved, that had to go and get it out the mud. We watched. We didn't watch because it was before our time, but we see Haiti saved itself.
Yep, absolutely.
So, and whether there's some sort of divine intervention or some mysterious way that your deity is working in, you know what I'm saying? What you know for sure is that you're here and you can work. You're here and you can do good deeds.
Absolutely.
That's
all
it.
right. Well,
I don't need you to agree with me on God, Slim. I just need you to do good deeds while you're here.
Do good things happen. Do bad things happen. My name is Earl. Zay, thank you so much for coming up. Thank you for the questions. I appreciate you. I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down. All right.
Cool. Thank you. Whoop.
All right. Guys, W's in the chat. Guys, keep tapping the screen, share the live again. Continue to actually appreciate Solid while we got him. Make sure that we are showing him some love. Make sure you're hitting those pay links, which are in the poll in the bio. Can we get him above 7K? Like, I think we're so close. We can get him above 7K. Can we get him above 7K coins, please, please, please? And make sure that you follow the account. That's his backup account. Show Solid some love. Angel, what question do you have for Solid?
Hello. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. So when you speak on like revolution, I'm in a college studying history, right? When I look at like past revolutions, whether it be like American, Haiti, French, I can't seem to like, this may be like naive of me, but it's so hard for me to cope with the fact of like the utter destruction, I guess, of a revolution. Like, I can't imagine like my grandma not being able to get her meds and like something happened because supply chains are messed up. You know, like I feel like we really don't have that kind of infrastructure in this country, right? So I guess, how do you kind of deal with that thought?
First off, I want to acknowledge that I'm glad your grandmother gets her meds now, right?
Yeah.
There are millions of people who ain't getting their med. Also, if revolution means that we will lose the infrastructure or the access to the infrastructure, or it means that we will lose the idea that we will have what we need, that there will be huge destruction, that is more of a case for revolution and liberation. Because what that means is that there is now a monopoly, there is inaccessibility of these things for real. Because if you ain't got the capital, you don't have the resources.
Yeah.
Down in the comments, some of the comrades are saying build dual power structures. Mm-hmm. Right? Let me ask you a question. Power plants. Why are we assuming that we can't radicalize people who work in power plants?
Because I feel like, I don't know, this might be like a colonizer mindset, but like, I feel like when you get into like self-interest and like what's best for my family, like, I feel like that's the hard line, like the line that is so hard to get through, because like right now I'm very involved in like my union at my college. Like I'm an intern with them. I believe that like we can have a revolution with like unions and like workers, right? But
Okay.
like
You're
I
talking
guess
about a
it's
workers'
more,
revolution.
yes, like with, I hate to say it, but like I feel like with a workers' revolution, we can like destroy and build back up like the system we have now without like full blown. And it might, like there's obviously cases where it should, or maybe not should, but like
Real quick, I'm so sorry. When you say build back up what we have now, what do you mean?
the system of like capital, or the neoliberal
Okay.
system, or
So for another time, okay, this is a conversation for another time, but
right.
I will say that capitalism is inherently exploitative. The way
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
Build Back Better is unhinged. Uh, but that's pretty much what you're advocating
I
for.
meant, oh, sorry, I
Capitalism
meant,
will never free us. Capitalism will always oppress,
no, I know, I
because
meant,
you have private. Go ahead.
I wanted to, okay, I want to clarify. I don't mean like build back with capitalism. I mean
Okay.
like destroy the system of capital and build back like a worker
Okay.
society.
I want you to imagine that there are power station workers, there are pilots, there are agriculturists, ironically enough, right, that also can't afford medication. They also can't afford food. They also can't afford water, clean water, right? Like as absurd as agriculturists not being able to afford clean drinking water, that what are you talking about? It's a thing, right? These people are the proletariat. They are the workers.
Yeah.
And they are also tired of being exploited. I don't think this is as big of a worry as I think we're told. There's something about movies that discuss the breakdown of society. There's something about the way history books represent revolution or apocalyptic movies. That's why a lot of the imagery that I use in my like in my media, I use the burning TV and I use the apocalyptic imagery of like the city that's decrepit and beat up, right? Because because it's just necessary, but that doesn't mean that we lose everything. It just means that the way we plan, the way we act, has to be in a way of preparedness.
Yeah.
Right. Not just like, you ever seen those
Yeah.
movies where somebody's about to charge or somebody else, they hit him with
Yeah.
that's not what revolution is.
It's like the 5 Ps.
Yeah, man. There's so much revolutionary action that you can engage in that doesn't debilitate people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
All right.
great. Sorry.
It's no worries.
If my question seemed a little naive, I just, it's something I think about a lot, and it's hard to like reconcile. But thank you.
Yeah, it's no worries. It's no worries.
Absolutely.
Have a good
Absolutely.
day.
Thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate you. All right. We're going to get one more in here for you, Solid. And guys, as we do that, again, continue to tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me, and make sure that we are showing Solid some love. Make sure that we are showing Solid some love. Please, 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 and thank you. And his pay links are running in the poll in the bio. Give him a follow. I know for a fact we're so close now, right? I'm gonna throw this out here as a challenge. Stop reading my mind, Kay. What? Jeez Louise. I was just about to say before Kay stole the thought out of my head. Solid is right there, right? He's at 8.87K coins. Let's get him above 10K. I'm gonna throw the gauntlet down and say, let's get Solid above 10K coins. Please, please, please get Solid above 10K coins. Also, give him a follow, hit those pay links, show him some love. Swan Swan, I'm gonna give you the floor. And you can go ahead with your question for Solid. But while Solid is checking his question, I tagged you a couple of times to check the message I sent you in Discord. Make sure you check that. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, got you. I got you. So my question for you, Solid, is what are your most, I guess, proud moments of each one of your kids? Obviously, you don't have to give like, you know, too much detailed information, but what are your proudest moments for each one of your kids?
So Trey, all together, I don't know if I could dial it down to a single moment. He, you know, he ate my lemon pepper wings, lemon pepper wet, and I'm still not over that. But just who he is, just as a man, is, I mean, I wish I would have been that at his age. As far as him being just like the best big brother I've ever seen. Like he's like, you know what I mean? He's just like there's just something so natural to him just being there, you know, being there for his siblings. For him setting an example, right? Like he's always been the kind of kid, and I don't know if it's older brother syndrome, but he's always been the kind of kid that just you don't have to tell him what's right. You know what I mean? He's gonna go and figure it out. He's just gonna do it. Ambrose, it's a toss-up. The first time they ever sang their heart out, I think the first time I ever heard them like a guttural singing, it just, I don't know. I can't describe it. I was just so incredibly prideful. Also, you know, when they came out, when they came out and told us they were non-binary, and pan, you know, this is amidst a was like during a very tumultuous time in their life. They were between their mother's house and mine, and they just were like, listen, this is what it is, and I'm stepping out on a limb. Either you're gonna love me or you're not. And so I was just like, okay, hey, look, I got you, player. Yaya is my lighthouse. Yaya has always been my compass, my lighthouse. When I was in the throes of PTSD, when I didn't know what I was going to do, when I didn't know where I was going to go, it was just, they were there. She was, listen, Yaya was too young to even realize what was happening, but she sits on my lap, she pulls up this book, and she doesn't know what she doesn't know, like, that I'm like freaking out. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay for things. I don't know how I'm gonna keep my family together. I don't know, you know, where I'm gonna be in you know, in life. And then she sits on my lap, she pulls up a book, and she says, wheels on the bus, round and round. And I was like, oh, it makes sense now. I know. Okay. I understand everything that needs to happen now. Boogie, it's not like a pinpoint thing. It's just, he's not afraid to be smart. He's just the smartest kid I've ever seen. And he's just not afraid to be smart. And and he's so vulnerable. He's okay with being vulnerable. He wears his heart on his sleeve. If you hurt his feelings, Boogie doesn't realize that he is like Bam Bam from the Flintstones. He doesn't realize that if he wanted to, he could lift up a tank and just like, just like, where you want this tank at? You want this tank over here? All right. Like, he doesn't realize that, but he's strongest, most dense, like physically dense kid I've ever seen in my life. Before my father passed, it was me and my father and him at it's called Bar Louie, and my father knew that he had cancer and didn't say anything to us. Trigger warning, y'all. I'm sorry. Jeez, I'm sucking today. And Boogie sees a tear coming from my father's eye, and immediately just, he's such an empath. He's just like, and so, that's just the essence of who they are. Like, I'm just proud of them for just being who they are. They are loving, they are giving, and they're like my grandparents. They don't know it, but they remind me a lot of my grandparents. They're just awesome people. They're just awesome people.
Absolutely.
When they're not eating my lemon pepper wings.
Yeah. You gotta get paid back.
Yeah.
But no, that is that's awesome. Solid. I think that you when I hear you describe your proudest moments, and not to say that because I think sometimes people don't necessarily understand that children, they should have their own autonomy always. So I'm not speaking about this in terms of like you trying to control them in any way, shape, or form. I just want people to make sure that that's, yeah. So what I'm getting at is when you describe them, I hear parts of you based on what you said of each of them, if that makes sense. Like the vulnerability aspect, right? Ambrose singing, right? And not afraid to, being who they are, especially in a world where, so many things are demonized. And then I think it's your oldest, right?
Yeah, Trey.
Yes, who ate the wings. Yes. Doing the right thing. Doing the right thing. And when I say doing the right thing, I don't mean like people are perfect all the time, right? What I'm saying is, because we're always going to mess up no matter what in every aspect of life, but doing the right thing in terms of accepting what was done, taking accountability, and then pushing forward. And that's something that a lot of people struggle with. But I just thought it was interesting to hear your description of your children and the things that make you the most proud. They all picked up these traits from you. They still have their autonomy. You know what I mean? They're still their own people. But I think that is incredible.
Absolutely.
Who is cutting the onions in this one?
I don't know. So I wanna do this really quick, and Swan, I don't know if you looked at that Discord message I sent you. I didn't know. Okay, she didn't. She forgot. I do want to say, Debbie's in the chat for Tess and a $30 donation. Said, please send half to Solid, as I have no Cash App or PayPal. Thank you both for the work that you do. Absolutely, I will get that over. Debbie's in the chat for Tess. Debbie's in the chat as well for April. April sent a $10 donation. Said, love you, Santana. Also, yeah, I can check that. I will definitely check that in TikTok. Thank you so much. You have a good day too. And Debbie's in the chat for Cat. Cat sent a $25 donation. Said, I love everything SuperSolid has to say. He is dope. He is absolutely dope, Cat. And I'm glad that you were here and able to experience him, especially if you guys have not come across Solid. Like, he is absolutely amazing. So make sure that you guys are hitting that follow button. Make sure that you're hitting that follow button. Make sure that you are showing him some love. Just make sure that you're doing all the wonderful things. All right. Perfect. So I see you, Swan. With that being said, anything else, Swan, from you? Any other questions or anything for Solid before we go ahead and round this base to home plate?
I feel like my next question would require a very lengthy response. I don't know how much time we got, but I guess I would.
Solid said he's got some smothered pork chops waiting on him.
Yeah. So no, we can save it for another time. Another time. I'll put him on the spot another time.
Okay. All right. Well, Swan, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming up.
Of course. Thank you for having me up.
All right. Have a good one. All right, guys. So we have had the ability and pleasure to spend time with Solid, and it's been absolutely amazing. And the one thing that I want to call out is, if you guys didn't see the video that I made, first and foremost, what did you think about the video I made?
Man, I loved it. I had
fun with that one.
Yeah.
Listen,
it was like kind of a dialogue.
Yeah. I absolutely enjoyed that one. That was one of my favorite videos to make, and I thought it was funny. But I said something in the video, and I don't know if everyone picked up on it, but I want to call it out right here, right now. And I said, Solid doesn't drop jewels; he dropped treasure chests, right? And I mean that. All right, I've often said that you're someone, and I sit under your learning tree. I love to engage with everything that you do, just because you're someone that I not only do I resonate with, but like I feel like every time that I'm around you, no matter if it's in your space and other spaces, heck, right here, right now, I've learned. And so the one thing that I'll just say to kind of round this thing is thank you, genuinely just thank you. Not only thank you for coming in and actually doing this, and thank you for being here, for like spending your time, energy, and effort. But more than that, thank you for what you do as a whole. Because like when I say we need more people like you, I truly mean that. So thank you for everything that you do, and thank you for being here. And with that being said, Solid, anything else you got for the people? Tell the people, because I know everybody's searching for you now. Everybody's wondering. Everybody wants a piece. Tell them how to find you and all the good stuff.
But if you would like more of my content, my main TikTok account is at SuperSolid4tP. That's 4 Tango Papa. SuperSolid4 Tango Papa. If you want to catch me on YouTube, you can go to 4tp.solid, at 4tp by solid, the BY, Bravo Yankee. Let's check out the Patreon over here. By the way, on my main, all of these links are in the bio. The Patreon is For the Proletariat Podcast. Now, I understand that proletariat is, for many of you, is an unfamiliar word and very difficult to spell. So just bear with me, okay? P-R-A. Sorry, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I don't want to infantilize you, but I'm going to spell it because Proletariat. That is Proletariat. For the Proletariat Podcast. Again, those links are in the bio. Thank you for everything. Thanks for having me up, Santana. What a good look, man. I mean, we got to give you kudos.
We don't. We really don't. We
for reaching out. We do.
It makes me uncomfortable.
We got to give Santana some props, because Santana doesn't have to do this, and he is, which means that it means that he believes in the people that he's having up, and so again, we need more people in the world like Santana.
I don't know about that one.
You ever thought about that?
I don't know about that one.
You put any thought towards that?
No, my wife. I don't know. She just like I'm a lot. Anyway,
we all are.
Yeah. Solid. Any last words for the people? Anything else you want to share with them?
Absolutely. All power to all the people except for Ralph. Do something good for your neighbor. Ubuntu. Viva la raza. Throw more bricks.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming up, Solid. Thank you for spending time with us. I appreciate you. W's in the chat for Solid, guys. W's in the chat for Solid. That was absolutely awesome. And I appreciate him for that. W's in the chat. Guys, there's every once in a while, there's an opportunity where you come across certain people, and to say that they inspire you, like it's for a lack of words. And every time I hear Solid speak, I always think to myself, I need to do more. Like every time I engage with him, every time I hear him like talk about the future, his ideas, his plans, things that are happening now, I always think to myself, I need to do more. And those are the type of people that you need to be around. And those are the type of people that you need to engage with. And so I really, really appreciate Solid coming up and spending some time with us today. We will be back again next week for Brunch with My Creator. And we will be jumping back into the lineup that we were going through. We're going to continue to track the same direction that we have been going as far as the people that we're going to complete as far as brunch, excuse me, as far as Brunch with My Creator. While some people have, taken a step back from Cadre, we still have members of Cadre that will be participating in Brunch with My Creator. And next week, Sunday, March the 8th, we have Ari for Education. Ari for Education will be on Brunch with My Creator next week, and she is going to do a bang up job. I'm excited. I'm so excited. So excited. We will continue to move forward with Brunch with My Creator, and you guys will get an opportunity to get to know these amazing people. And I'm telling you, it's been banger after banger after banger after banger, and I'm so excited. So guys, make sure that you are around next Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific for Brunch with My Creator. Two other quick things, guys. One, Late Nights is back. Late Nights is back tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, 2 hours. Late Nights with Santana, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 4 nights, 2 hours. We will get back. It is the panel discussion. We will be on the main account. So that means that if you want an opportunity to join the conversation, please, please, please make sure that you are here this evening, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, Late Nights with Santana. And I'll kind of give up the game a little bit. This week, instead of having a specific topic that we're going to be focusing on, this is going to be an opportunity to check in with everyone. And I think this is going to be a great week to not only create dialogue where there could be conflict, but I think it's a great week to actually really figure out what people are dealing with, going through, and what we need to do together. So if you're available, make sure that you're here, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, Late Nights with Santana. This week, it's going to be about checking in on everyone and understanding what everyone has to say. So if you are interested in joining the conversation, you get here. You don't have to be quote unquote ops in order to join the conversation with Late Nights with Santana. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Last but not least, I want to give this the time that it actually deserves. And W's in the chat for Serena. Serena sent $100 donation. $100 donation. And Serena message says, "Hey Santana, please put a shout out and prayers to my son Xavier and all the military members at this time. I'm a former Marine and having a young Black son, 21, in these times stresses me." Serena, thank you so much for the crazy donation, love, and support. But even more so, I wanted to just take a few minutes to talk about where we are today. And no matter if you are on the left or the right, or no matter if you subscribe to like being someone patriotic, or you think this country is, an a-hole country or whatever, understanding that the people who put their lives on the line are men and women in uniform, the people who fight for our freedoms. I say this all the time. I tell anyone who has ever served, thank you for your service, because I don't have the ability and I don't have what it takes to put my life on the line for other people. And I understand that people may have political biases and leanings and all this other stuff. And while some may agree, some may disagree, all of those things may occur. But the one thing that I need to make sure that we're all doing is understanding that the people that are serving our country, those men and women in uniform, those are actual heroes. And not only are they actual heroes, but they're people. They're people with loved ones. They have mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, wives, children, nephews, everything. These people who are looking to protect our country, whether we agree or disagree, those individuals are people that we should cherish. We don't have to cherish what they're forced to do or what they're carrying out, but we do have to cherish them as individuals. And so I want to always say that we need to make sure that we are always thinking about those wonderful people who are willing to do this, and they will always have my support. I think they deserve better than what they get, and hopefully one day they will. Hopefully one day they will. Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, also, W's in the chat for Angel. Angel sent a $1 donation, and definitely not a capitalist or anything similar. Just wanted to clarify. I'm not great with my words sometimes. No, Angel, you're fine. You did an amazing job. You did an amazing job. Also, it said sent another dollar. Also, I heard a valid source that some sailors were trying to sabotage the ship. Really? That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, guys, it has been an amazing Brunch with My Creator. I'm sorry we started off a little bit bumpy. I've been working on this I'm trying to improve the viewing experience, and I'm taking my lumps. Not gonna hold you. Your old buddy Santana, I've been spending hours and hours and hours on the audio, on the video, on all this other stuff. And I'm trying to make sure that we have a setup for TikTok and YouTube and Twitch and Instagram and all this good stuff and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm trying to make sure that people can talk across platforms and you can hear each other and you got the sounds and the music. And I apologize that we've been going through a little bit of a rough patch with technology, but I promise you I'm gonna figure it all out. I'm gonna figure it all out. It's been me. It's been me and a couple of other great people who reach out at other times and pitch in here and there. And I spent like hours and hours, Googling and running stuff and like just doing all this. But I got some other things that are supposed to be done today. And after I get off here, I'm gonna try to figure out this audio so we can keep everything going. And then I'm over on Twitch. I still need to figure out the extensions to make sure you guys get all your cool stuff that happens. But I promise you, I'm trying to deliver an experience. I believe in the experience of the community, right? But also believe in the overall experience and engagement of what you guys are getting. And so I want to give you guys the highest, thank you for that, the highest level of production, the highest level of quality. And I want to make sure you guys know that I care about what I'm doing and you guys actually want to keep showing up and engaging. So I'm going to keep doing everything that I can possibly do to give you the best of me. And if you guys keep coming hanging out with me, then, we'll keep doing it together. Deal? Is that a deal? Can we lock in? All right. You're gonna stop calling me Gramps. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna immediately hop off and then get to what I said I had to do, and we will be back this evening, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, late nights with Santana. Let's close this out.
Brunch with my creator, yeah. We're just having some fun. Relax, sharing the moments when the cameras are done. The real you, real love, no filter, no show. See at a table, let the world know. Brunch with my creator, can you see? Yeah, it's the human side of the screen.
Hey guys, it was a good one. I truly enjoyed it. Hey, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up over on YouTube before you leave. Here on TikTok, make sure you hit that follow button. We are driving towards 100,000 followers, and we are so close. I'm so excited to push the main account to 100,000 followers. So please, if you have not hit that follow button right there. Boom, 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 boom. Hit that follow button. Hit that follow button. Guys, we'll be back this evening. But if you missed any of this interview, it is on the YouTube, which is Santana Speaks. It is under the playlist for Brunch with My Creator, where you can go back and watch any of the past Brunch with My Creators there as well. Follow the Twitch, Santana Speaks 24. Follow the Instagram. I'm gonna start doing like Instagram only lives as well. So make sure you guys follow me at all the places. Follow me on Blue Sky. I've been posting on Blue Sky, and I'm gonna be more active on Blue Sky. Follow me everywhere. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you. I appreciate the heck out of you. Thank you for all the gifts, the likes, the taps, the shares. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for being here. I love you all. And